Fakes left, now taken off. Gonna run for it, got it! And there he goes! The 6 on the 10 to 5! Oh, the play of the year in the NFL!
Holy fuck, we are back with episode 6 of Bud's Mafia. Canada squeaks out a win. We wanted to record this right after the win. If they would have lost, we may have delayed it a little bit. But Canada, thank God, pulled off the win against Finland and will play USA in the Four Nations finals. We'll get to that later. Jackson, how was your weekend? The long weekend here. I mean, it's snowed like crazy down in Southern Ontario, but
we'll start with my last week of my car getting broken into in a
oh my God,
parking garage.
That.
Yeah, so my mom took it out to. I called my mom on the way into work. Freezing cold drive to work at 5:30 in the morning with no window on the passenger side. My mom took it and got it fixed, and then there's like a whistling sound, but I had to get that dealt with and whatever. But yeah, over 50 cars got broken into, which is sick.
Jesus Christ.
One car got stolen. So that was a lot of fun. And then, yeah, drove up to the cottage Friday in the evening and got up there at like 11. And then for the next 48 hours, it proceeded to just puke snow with no stopping. So Saturday morning, woke up at like 9, immediately got on the roof and started shoveling the roof with my brother. Did that for about 2 to 3 hours and then got down and shoveled all the snow that we shoveled off the roof out of the way, which was a ton of fun. And then we went out fishing for a bit, which is like walking in 4 feet of snow to get to the goddamn ice hut. And then Sunday morning, woke up and did it all again because there was another 18 inches of snow in the goddamn ground. It was like, I love snow. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm going on a ski trip this week. Like I'm pumped. Yeah. It's going to be great. But can we stop? No, like I don't think we've had snow like this in 10 years. Like for real. There's like at the cottage, there's almost 6 feet of snow. Like you can barely, when you're making a turn, you can barely see because the banks are so big.
Yeah, like I lived in Ottawa for the past 4 years for school at least. And Ottawa, like Eastern Ontario and all that, they get a lot of snow too. And I've never seen it like this. Like outside my house, I was shoveling the past few days as well, and it's mountains of snow outside of our house.
It's ridiculous.
And it's just like I had to pick up Caitlin the other day, and like she lives in a little like kind of popular street. Like we live on a bus route, so we get plowed pretty often. Like if you try to go on these kind of side roads or courts or anything, good luck. Like they're not plowing that. It's your fault.
Thursday morning, so car gets fixed. Puking snow. I wake up at 5, look out my window from my balcony, see 5 cars stuck on the way that I would get out of my parking garage. So I was like, all right, that's sick. I'm going to have to go out one of the other doors. 5:30, I'm going to leave. It looks like everyone's gone. So I pull out of my parking garage and there's a lady stuck there. And I was like, it's 5:45 in the morning at this point. I'm sorry, ma'am, but if I stop, I'm stuck too. So I had to Tokyo drift around her car. And I felt so bad as I'm driving. I like try not to make eye contact, but you can't not help but look over. And she's slowly getting out of her car to try to push her car out. Took me almost a half hour to get into work. And then because a ton of people didn't show up, work was like, all right, we're having a pizza party for lunch. So they bought 5 like extra large pizzas for everyone, which is sick.
Yeah, like on Thursday, we had to call it off for work. I work at a pest control company, so I don't do the pest control anymore, but the pest control, we obviously just didn't make our techs go out there in service. So Thursday, they had the day off. Friday, back to work. But fuck, the way it's looking right now, it's windy as hell too. So it makes it look snowier than it is. Like it's not downpouring of snow, but the wind makes it look like it's a blizzard, which it kind of is. But we'll see how tomorrow goes. But yeah.
Driving home on the 407, it was completely fine until we got to like Derry Road. And then at Derry Road where the 407 meets the 401, you're going around a corner on a bridge over the 401 and the snow drifts was ridiculous to the point.
Yeah.
Taylor was in the passenger seat. I said, close your eyes. This is about to get horrible. Yeah. No, it was ridiculous.
This podcast is definitely going to be filled with the Four Nations talk. Probably the best decision the NHL has made in a very long time. We're going to briefly talk about the NFL because there's really not much to talk about. I mean, the parade happened, la-di-da, who cares? We have a few notes we want to get to. I mean, our star running back, or at least I would say our star running back, James Cook, he was on live. It was his own Instagram live, I'm pretty sure. And someone commented saying, how much do you want? Or basically, and he said 15 schmil a year, which I looked it up, and Saquon does he make it around that? The same thing, or Saquon? I'm not positive.
I think he's at like 10 something. 10.60. We reset the entire running back market. Like
It's just he's a
I don't know.
great
He's
quarterback.
really great. He's a really great running back, but at the end of the day, it's either they're going to re-sign him or they're going to trade him. And realistically, you trade him, it really sucks. He had 15, 16 touchdowns this year, not including postseason. Like,
yeah, he was
amazing. He was amazing. So, I feel like they're going to try to get a deal done. But I saw someone come out and say it's like for the 2 or 3 years he's been here, doesn't talk a lot, no problems with the media, nothing. And then out of nowhere, it's like
15 schmil. Yeah, it's
dude, I respect it. Like, to be honest, do I think he deserves a payday? Yeah. Would I pay him 15 mil? That's tough.
That's a lot.
You
for
need to
running
go
back.
out. You need to go out and get another wide receiver, and you need to bring in more D linemen. Like, at the end of the day, Ray Davis looks pretty good. Ty Johnson, I think they can bring back on like a team friendly deal. So I don't really know. Like, I think that
like the Bills, they need some outside deep threat help. I mean, Shakir, Hollins are great on the inside. They're great on the slants, the post, and stuff like that. But they need some deep threats. And again, the D line needs to be improved. We'll see. I think I keep asking this every single time. Can they cut Von Miller? Like, can they cut and remove that cap from their roster or no?
they can. I just don't know if it makes a ton of sense, especially for the veteran leadership. Like, I think I would keep him for another year, even just to be a role player, kind of like what they do right now with him.
Yeah.
Like, even what he did this year, like, he really only played third down, fourth down, like passing downs, and fourth and shorts and stuff like that. Like, or like second and longs. Like, he played it well enough to get a bunch of pressures, couple sacks. Like, he's such a key kind of leadership guy that I think that you definitely bring him back. I don't think you just straight up cut him. It's tough. Like, the Myles Garrett, I saw someone today talking about DK Metcalf to the Bills trading like their first, second, and third pick and getting DK Metcalf. I would be upset. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be upset, but I wouldn't want to trade away our future.
Metcalf in a Bills jersey would look pretty sick. That would be a pretty cool looking jersey.
I wouldn't want to trade away our future. And like, you have Keon's not a big body receiver, but he's that deep threat that you want, right? Like, so having him and Metcalf to do the same, Metcalf's obviously more proven.
Yeah.
I don't think that makes a ton of sense. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what Brandon Bean has to do. Like, I think they get a deal done for $15 million. I don't think so. I don't think Cook is going to stay true to that number.
He easily could be trolling. You know what I mean? You know, he's not much of a personality. He may just be dead serious, or he's just like, I'm gonna fuck around with these fans, because like, he's asking for 15 mil, and like, that's what, 4 or 5 more than Saquon. He can't be serious. He just can't be.
I don't know,
but like, we'll see. I
don't know. We'll see.
Right after the season, all the scenarios you see, like on Twitter, it's incredible. Like, I'm seeing the next note we have here is like, I'm hearing Stafford to the Giants. I'm hearing like,
well, they still got to work through his contract, right? So, and apparently the two sides haven't come to a deal. I'm hearing that the Rams might want to go out and get like a Jackson Dart or someone like that. Yeah. You know, like Jackson Dart could easily, because the Rams probably won't pick until like 25th, 23rd, in and around there. That. Jackson Dart could easily fall to there. You know, I don't know. We'll see. I'm hearing maybe Carson Wentz back to LA. I'm hearing Trevor Lawrence to the Steelers. I was gonna say, right before this, when I was waiting for you, I was looking on Twitter. I saw Trevor Lawrence to the Steelers have their hand in every single quarterback on the market. I'm hearing Aaron Rodgers, Steelers. Obviously, they field Russell Wilson, Trevor Lawrence. Who do you want? I mean, you get Trevor Lawrence, sure. I mean, fuck it. But the Jags with Trevor Lawrence for Justin Fields.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, that's
Trevor Lawrence is great, but he hasn't done much.
Yeah, one comeback win, but that's basically just the Chargers just kind of blew that one up a few years ago.
Yeah, I don't know.
Would you, if you're the Giants, you don't trade your 3rd overall pick for Matthew Stafford. That's fucking insane.
Well, what you do is you take a Cam Ward or who else was it?
Well, Cam Ward, Shador.
Yeah, I don't think Shador is going to New York though.
You don't think so?
If you take one of those QBs, you bring Stafford in on a 1-year deal. You let Stafford play.
Yeah. If
Stafford plays great, you let him play. If Stafford plays shitty, 7-8 games in, you put in the rookie and let Stafford coach him up.
Yeah.
Which, like, I don't mind that, but do I think Stafford's going to New York to freeze his ass off after playing in LA and ringing the Super Bowl? No. Realistically, no.
I saw this trade. I can't remember the Twitter account name, but it's ML Football or something, and they post a lot of different scenarios, and they're actually very good ones. I saw it was a 2026 first round pick of the Giants to LA for Matthew Stafford. Would you do that?
I mean, yeah, if you're the Rams, you're getting a first round pick next year to trade away an aging quarterback who is still pretty good, but he's not your future, right? Sean McVay is looking for, realistically, if you can say you don't get a rookie quarterback in this year's draft, if you're the Rams.
Yeah.
You now have a first round pick next year, and you pick a quarterback there and you test whoever, like you get a Russell Wilson or you get a Justin Fields or you get, someone on the market who realistically makes sense, right? Like, I think that's what maybe even you get Sam Darnold. Because what I'm hearing now is the reason why Minnesota brought Daniel Jones in is that if they can't get a deal done with Sam Darnold, then they'll rock with Daniel Jones, depending on how JJ McCarthy's doing, right? And Kevin O'Connell is such a great offensive-minded coach. I think that was the problem in New York. It's nothing against Brian Daboll. But, Brian Daboll tried to turn Daniel Jones into Josh Allen. And Josh Allen had 3 years of shit before he was good, and they didn't really give Daniel Jones that opportunity, right? Like, do I think Daniel Jones is going to be a great starting QB in the NFL? It's hard to say. I don't think he's had a fair shot, considering just the Giants haven't been good since Eli left.
Yeah. And I love Stafford. I loved him. I still love him, and he's still really good. But I don't know, why are you trading your shit team? You're most likely, even if you get him, he can still have a good season. You'll probably still be like a 5-12 or 5 whatever team. You're not going to be that much better. And why do you trade for a guy? Why do you trade a QB for a guy he's contemplating retirement? I don't care how good he is. Still, he's contemplating retirement. He probably won't. I mean, I don't know.
It really depends on what they can do. It really depends on what they can do. Like, if the Giants can do something with their offensive line and bring Stafford in, then you have Malik Neighbors, right? Like,
yeah.
You give Malik Neighbors an actual season. Like, you saw what Malik Neighbors did with Drew Lock and fucking whatever the guy, Joey fucking whatever his name is. I can't even remember his name. But like, you saw what Malik Neighbors did with those quarterbacks. Imagine an actual quarterback, right? Yeah. What I think New York does is they draft a QB, bring in a veteran, have that veteran kind of start the season. Kind of what what almost every team does. Like, they always it's what the Ravens did with Lamar. They brought Lamar in. Joe Flacco started the season and then, kind of shit the bed and became Joe Flacco of today and let Lamar kind of go, right? Like, that's what the formula is, unless you have these quarterbacks who come in, kind of like, a Bo Nix, a Jaden Daniels, even a Caleb Williams. Like, Caleb Williams arguably would have had a better season if they didn't have that loss to Washington, right? Like, that was such a crazy defining loss and win for both those teams.
They're 4-2, and then they had that loss, and they almost beat the Lions. I mean, if you think about it, I still think Caleb Williams is going to be a stud. Just, there's a lot of those games that kind of blew it in Bears fashion, right? So I think they proved their offensive line.
The NFL's there's so many things to be done, like Cooper Kupp, Debo. All of these people are requesting trades or want trades, or, the teams have gone to them. It's like, there's so much stuff to be done that the NFL offseason is going to be crazy.
It's just, it's going to be like domino effect. Once one of these moves happen, I think it's going to set the tone. Like, I think we said last week, I think Myles Garrett, I think that trade is going to happen very soon. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens before March. We got 2 weeks left. We'll see. But obviously Max Crosby, I'm hearing a lot of rumors about him, and he just says he just wants to win, but we'll see. I'm hearing Dallas eventually could even kick tires on Micah Parsons. Like,
which is crazy.
The NFL is looking nuts right now. But they can't trade Micah.
If Jerry Jones does not re-sign Micah Parsons, like, forget the injuries, which it's hard to, but like, he's your number one player.
Yeah.
Like, that's easily,
Yeah.
Like, you don't have an all-star running back. You have Rico Dowdle and Joe from accounting, and then, like, you have Dak Prescott, who's coming off another injury, and even Cooper Rush. Like, Cooper Rush played well without, or like with Mike McCarthy. And now Mike McCarthy doesn't have a coaching job again this year.
No.
It's crazy.
No. Yeah.
Like, for even as bad as the Cowboys were, the hand that they were dealt with getting those injuries, having, CeeDee Lamb get injured throughout the year and everything, it's like, the Cowboys Cowboys used to be like what the Bills are now. It's like they're an easy 11-12, 10, 11, 12 win team. Lose in the second or third round of the playoffs, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, I was the other NFL talk you kind of want to talk about. There's not much. I mean, things will ramp up before the draft. I'm very excited for this draft. I think I can see many things happening, but You ready to kick it over to the Four Nations here, kind of the talk of the pod?
Yeah.
This is arguably the best decision the NHL has ever done. Like, if people thought going into this, and me personally, I'm like, what's the intensity going to be like? Because obviously All-Star games before have been pond hockey. The first game was absolutely insane. The atmosphere with Mario Lemieux coming out, the announcement, the anthems, it was fucking nuts. Canada-Sweden first game, just power play, I don't know how many seconds in, and then it goes Crosby, or McDavid, Crosby, McKinnon, back of the net. In classic Canada fashion, obviously, we lost the lead.
One of the worst national anthem singers.
Dude, it's all over Twitter. These last three anthems for Canada, I think I don't know if it's the same woman.
No, the guy that did it on Saturday night before the Canada-US game did both anthems amazingly. Like,
yeah,
amazingly. But no, obviously no offense to this woman, but like, she is lucky that the crowd was healthy.
Yeah. Today's one and the first one in Montreal was horrendous. Which sucks to say, I mean, it's our anthem and everything, but like, it was so bad. I will say the woman who's singing the Finland anthem, she gets the people going. That's a nice anthem. I don't know what the fuck she's saying, but it's a good anthem. I'll say that. But yeah, I mean, obviously there's some. I was surprised with the goalie situation for Canada going into it. I mean, Logan Thompson, goalie of the Washington Capitals, is arguably top 3 in Vezina voting right now. Wasn't selected in, excuse me. I heard speculation because he was on Vegas. Bruce Cassidy is one of the assistant coaches of Canada. Apparently they didn't get along, but that's just speculation and rumors. I don't know. I mean, Binnington, the first 2 goals I thought he should have had. I mean, first one, Brodin just kind of turned and shot, went top shelf. Not really much of a screen, in my opinion. B, the second goal, is walked in and ripped it. I mean, great shot. Goalies, I want you to have that, obviously, but I mean, it was a good shot. Third goal, can't really do much about it. It was insane tic-tac-toe play. But I mean, John Cooper said it best. He kept playing him for obviously USA game and Finland game because of that overtime. That overtime, he was a stud. He made insane saves on Nylander. I think Kempe again. And then, I mean, arguably the best Canadian hockey player of all time. I know there's Gretzky, but we're talking about just like who's played for Canada the most and everything. Sidney Crosby, 3 assists. You could tell
his first
assist
was ridiculous.
That was insane. In my opinion, you can tell he's a little bit hurt still. I think he's definitely battling through something. I think it's his wrist. I'm not positive. But yeah, he's definitely lingering something, but I'm not positive.
From the video that they showed before the Four Nations of where he got hit, he kind of got sandwiched between 2 guys.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's either his wrist or his shoulder.
I think it's upper body. I don't think it's, yeah.
I don't know. The first game was like, I'm not going to lie. I was watching it and then I kind of fell asleep and I woke up and it just Craig Button talking about the overtime win. I was like, okay, sweet. And then I was so pumped for the USA for the USA Finland game as well. Like the USA Finland game was, I mean, until the third period, it was awesome. Like
I was like, oh my god, let's go
oh my
Finland.
god. I was like, Finland is like kind of a wagon.
Yeah.
And then the third period just absolutely opened it up.
It's just Finland's defense is just, if you compare to the other teams, it's not good. So they lost Miro Heiskanen to almost a season-end injury, which he's one of the top defensemen in the league. You have 2 or 3 guys in the bottom 6 who played like under 10 NHL games. So which sucks. But I mean, they're hanging in there. I mean, look what just happened today. They're playing physical. Lindell's playing great. Mikola's playing great. But USA at the end of the day just became too much. Their forward core is pretty sick. I mean,
their forwards
Barkov's insane. Aho, Rantanen.
Their defense against Canada was ridiculous as well.
Yeah,
None of the absolute all-stars could get anything going other than David's first goal.
Yeah, and Finland scored first so Connor Hellebuyck is the best goalie in the world. There's no question about that. He has 2 Vezinas, probably going to win his third. But he has issues in big game or big moments. And if you look at his playoff numbers, they're kind of shit. He has 1 good playoff run, but it was like 1 round and he was really good. But the last few playoff runs, he has been horrendous. Like under 8 save percentage, 3 goals a game. And after that first Finland goal, I was like, oh, shaky. But then it just, I mean, floodgates open. And then third period, it was like 3 goals in like 5 minutes. And then it was...
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
So, yeah.
It was ridiculous.
But then we got basically the rivalry weekend where Finland, Sweden, a very underrated rivalry, just crossed the border. I made the mistake. So we went out for the game on Saturday. A bunch of us did. And I said, oh, arguably Finland-Sweden's like more or just as big of a rivalry than Canada-USA. Not the case anymore. Like that was a fucking bloodbath. No,
good Lord, man.
It's very underrated. If you understand the culture of the two European, it is huge, but it's not like hatred like Canada-USA is.
They don't have the same things going on in the political realm that Canada and the US does. Like Twitter is, trust me, the American Twitter is ripping us to shreds.
It was tough to watch. We're going to quickly talk about the Finland-Sweden game. Finland pulls off, to me, I thought Finland was going to get wrecked this tournament. Their forward core is obviously elite, but their decor is just, when you look at other teams' decor, like Sweden has Hedman, Carlson, Rasmus Dahlin, Ekholm, Rasmus Andersson. Finland's best defenseman is Esa Lindell, who's rarely underrated, very good. But it's like, are you kidding me? Like we're like USA sitting out. What's his name? Who's playing tonight?
Kreider.
Like I'm talking about defenseman, but just like Jake Sanderson, who's an elite defenseman, and he can't even make the team. Like it just, when you look at Finland, it's just. But they pulled up the win. Linder had a great game, even though against Canada, I don't think he was very noticeable. 4-3 overtime win by Finland. Mikael Granlund scored the OT winner. And yeah, I mean, that to me, again, I thought Finland was going to get absolutely killed. They did against USA, but they've been in every single game besides that USA game.
Yeah, and even in the USA game, like we said, until that third period, I think they just got outgassed. Like the USA just has such depth, especially in the forward position, that like you're playing with, like you said, I mean, you can roll the tape on our preview of this. You were ripping defense apart.
I thought they would get fucking killed.
Yeah.
But now the main event, probably the craziest start to a hockey game I've ever seen. I've watched thousands of hockey games in my life. That was the craziest game I've ever seen. Opening draw, Matthew Tkachuk versus Brandon Hagel. And again, people thought that this was going to be an all-star weekend. It was, no, I'm going to fucking kill you. Dude. Big fight. When Hagel pumped up the crowd, that I was losing my mind. And then Brady Tkachuk was right there the whole time. And then, what do you know? Him and Sid Bennett go toe-to-toe. I would say Hagel won the first fight, but then Brady Tkachuk definitely kind of got the better end of Sam Bennett. And even though I'm against USA right now, that slow-mo video of Brady Tkachuk dapping his brother, that's me and Nick at the bar. We kept looking at that, and it was such a sick moment.
There would be not. I was talking to Kevin about it, my brother, and I was like, imagine you and I were playing for Team Canada, and we started the game, just two fights, and we dapped each other. Because my brother was like, oh, the stupid US. And I was like, just put yourself in their situation.
It's pretty, I hate them, but it's insane. It's so cool.
You know?
It's so
and
cool.
Then JT Miller.
He's an idiot. So we don't have a lot of tough guys on Canada. Obviously, Marchand, Bennett, those guys, they're not Brady Tkachuk where they're going to run you through a wall. They might punch you in the gut or the throat, but they're not like running guys. But you pick our biggest player, Colton Parayko. He played for the University of Alaska. He's 6'6". You drop the glove, so we get the power play. We didn't score. Then Colton Parayko's like, yeah, I'll fucking fight you. He fed him. And did you see, I don't know if I saw in slow-mo, he fed him, JT Miller went down, and Parayko was like, no. He picked him back up.
He picks him back up.
Feeding him. It's like, you're more. And then we get the power play, and it was just, we didn't score on it. That would have been a cherry on top, but then fucking McGee's just dude, when he's full speed, you can't do anything about it. You just can't. And then that forehand backhand.
The first game against Sweden, I thought he had, not an off game, but he was dangling around everybody. But he created chances, but I was sitting there and I was like, it is ridiculous what this guy can do with the puck. And that first goal against the US, you're like,
it was, ugh. And then that was, even though I hate Montreal, obviously as Toronto fans, but Bell Center is the loudest arena in hockey. It's no question. Montreal fans are the loudest, in my opinion.
It was way smarter that they had it there too.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would have preferred the first half be in Boston and now in Montreal,
but it was having it in Montreal versus having it in Toronto, Toronto, you're just gonna get suits, right?
Yeah.
You're just gonna get suits. Whereas there is you have diehard hockey fans who just want to see. That's what I was saying to my dad. My dad wasn't really watching. He didn't watch the first game because I was live texting him about the first game, and he was like, "Oh, I'm not even watching it, watching a movie." And I was like, "All right."
You're
then the Canada US game comes on. It's the first game he's watched, and there's 3 fights to start the game, and he looks at me and goes, "This is the best hockey I've ever watched." I was like, "Dude, I told you, it's amazing."
we went to Chuck's, and there was we got there over an hour early because of the weather and the game, and thank God we did. And the atmosphere in there after McDavid scored, actually during the fights, we kept looking at there's no way it's happening again. There's no way. And then when McDavid scored, it was unbelievable. Obviously, we're gonna talk about the end result. USA did pick up the win, 3-1. We couldn't score again. Gensel tied it, then Larkin goal, and then empty netter for Gensel again. I'll say this, USA's defensemen deserve the MVP that game. They kept everything to the outside. McAvoy trucked McDavid twice.
Trucked him.
Brady, I've seen that Brady Tkachuk hit on Doughty a million times. That's why, so looking at this tournament, I really liked our team selection, and I've actually liked it even more while watching it. People dogged Hagel and Cirelli. I thought they played great, especially on the penalty kill and everything. The only guy who I'd want to have in this tournament, maybe instead of Jarvis, who got scratched today. I know we got a point against Sweden, but it shocks me that they didn't pick up Tom Wilson for this tournament. He could go toe-to-toe with anybody. He's obviously not as skilled, but he's had some 20, 30 goal seasons. The fact that if you had Tom Wilson in that game, Tkachuk's not making it the end of the game. He will take someone's head off.
I think they thought that it was just going to be a skill over heart, kind of not heart, but you know what I mean? A skill over, over toughness. And you saw immediately, as soon as McAvoy lit up McDavid twice, I was sitting there and I looked at my dad and I was like, I don't think we got this one. I think we got to beat Finland.
Yeah. We got Snarl with Bennett and Marchand. They're chippy. They'll hack you after the whistle. They'll chirp you. They'll fucking spear you in the gut. But they're not going to go end to end and run you through the boards like a Tkachuk will, or even JT Miller will. You know what I mean? Yes, they're dirty. They'll get under your skin, but you got to inflict pain, actual physical pain against the board. And that's what Tom Wilson can do. And he's a hell of a player. He can fly out there. So I was surprised with that. But again, honestly, every other pick I'm loving. Obviously, no Makar that game. We can use that as an excuse, but USA didn't have Quinn Hughes. So, it's pretty 1-1. McKinnon, to me, was invisible that game. He didn't do anything. David played great. Obviously, the goal. I love that Canada picked up Drew Doughty. I know it shocked a lot of people. I know he only played 3, 4, 5 games after breaking his fibula or whatever it was. But, man, he's a Hall of Famer, and last year he played great. There's no chance. I'm so happy they picked him up. And do you hear him say, he was crying when he found out they picked him because he was so shocked. He played phenomenal.
I think a lot of these guys, it doesn't matter who you are, unless, you're a McDavid or a McKinnon and you don't know, but you're not going to not get picked.
Yeah.
But for a lot of these guys, it means everything. It means the world, because most times these last guys got to actually represent their country was in, World Juniors. A lot of these guys rarely get picked for Olympic teams.
And some of these guys have never played World Juniors. Hagel, they're all drafted. Mark Stone was a 7th round pick. None of these guys never played World Juniors. And yes, there's World Championship that happens every summer, but once you win one, Canada wins them a lot. They just don't want to go again. Crosby went once, he won. He's I don't really want to go in my summer ever again, right?
Yeah.
So there's obviously it's a big thing to win gold in the World Championships, and I'm going to bring up our record against USA because so we lost. We lost to USA. I kind of feel you too. When it was a tie game, I'm they may have this one just because of the nastiness. I didn't like our line matchups. I like the one against Finland. We're going to talk about that. I love Twitter. I'm on Twitter all the time. Seeing this media has just made me so angry, and it's so hard not to respond because I'm going to get flamed. Seeing all this 51st state stuff now, which, trust me, is funny, but fuck off with all that. I know this is more than just a game because of the whole kind of political landscape going on right now, which you don't want to dive into too much, in the anthem stuff, which, I don't know, it's tough. Them saying they own the game of hockey now is a fucking disgrace.
You won one game.
I'm going to bring up some stats here. I'm not going to pretend that 2025 hasn't been a good year for USA, and 2024. Your team's looking great. Obviously, the big game matters. Last game doesn't fucking matter. The big game is on Thursday. They won the World Juniors twice in a row. So the last 2 years have been good for USA. Hockey will always be Canadians' game, no matter what. You can win the next 10 years. I don't care. Let's look at the numbers here. Canada has 28 World Championship golds. The USA has 2.
Here we go.
1960 and 1933. You know what? You know what country that has one gold, only one less than USA in the World Championships? Great Britain has a fucking gold medal. Congrats. You have one more gold medal than Great Britain in hockey. Shut the fuck up. World Juniors. Canada has 20 World Junior golds. USA has 7. In Olympic hockey, 9 golds for Canada, 2 for the US, 1960 and 1980. Like, fuck off with all this. Yes, you're having a good year. You're having a good team. We'll decide this on Thursday. You're not even close. You're not even close. I mean, look at, like, oh, we won one game. It's like, oh, we broke Crosby's record. Crosby won 26 straight games as a Canadian captain. His last loss was, yes, to USA in 2010 in the round robin against USA. But then what happened later? He scored the golden goal. 14 beat you in the Olympics. 2016 destroyed you in the World Cup. So I don't even care if they win Thursday. Obviously, Twitter is going to make me depressed. But fuck off. You're not even close to Canada in history. Not even close.
I can't even go on Twitter. It's like,
it's hard to look at.
The political stuff is just ridiculous to look at. And then you add in I mean, like you and I were talking about, like, not a better time to have this fucking tournament.
Not a better time.
It's so funny. I saw so many memes because the NBA All-Star Week is right now, and it's like, NBA player, oh, I can't play back-to-back games because my knee hurts. NHL player, and it's just a picture of Brady Kachuk. It's like, who fucking die for my country.
I mean, we're going to talk about the NBA All-Star game during my penalty box segment, but yeah, they'll probably won't do this again or for nations because big news, World Cup of Hockey is back. It's going to start in 2028. We don't know where yet. I know Toronto, Edmonton, Vancouver have put a bid in. Knowing Canada and the hockey, the first one will probably be in Canada, but we'll never know. Obviously, Olympics in 2026 in Italy, and the year from now is going to be absolutely incredible. And then it's going to be every 2 years, we're either going to get the Olympics or the World Cup, and that's just absolutely incredible. We waited 9 years for this, back to the 2016 World Cup. So this is unbelievable.
No, you got out a bit,
but yeah, we're back in black.
Okay.
So yeah, but then Canada, Finland just now. That's why the energy is a little bit higher right now. Bit of a scare.
Dude,
but
I didn't even get to watch the first period. I was driving home and immediately it was 1 o'clock or 1:20, and I put the game on and was reading her book, and McDavid scores the first goal. I start screaming in the car, and then McKinnon scores 2 minutes later. Start screaming again.
So they played 2 periods of perfect hockey. David, he's played great every single game, probably his best game. I love the new lineup combinations. David, he needs speed on his wing. He doesn't need another creator on his wing. Mario's a great skater, but he's not flat out speed, and he's a creator. He's not, he had a good wrist shot to win it against Sweden, but he's not known for his shot. I thought, Stone's not the best skater, but he's a good two-way guy. I thought putting Point with McDavid is a huge turning point in this tournament. McDavid a goal, McDavid assist on Point's goal, and then putting Reinhart with Crosby McKinn was awesome. Makar being back from his illness is huge. He looked awesome. Again, 2 periods of perfect hockey. Then just, I don't know, you get a little too comfortable, and then they get 1 goal, and then you have 6-on-5 for 5 minutes, right? And then you get 2 more. Then, of course, who seals it? Captain Canada, Sidney Crosby. But a little bit of a scare.
That hit was ridiculous. I love it.
Or what, the hit at the end?
Crosby.
Oh, yeah.
He hit Granlund and then immediately stood up and just
Yeah.
puts it away. It's like, that's my cap.
Yeah, that's my captain. I love him. You can argue he's like the best Canadian player of all, like just in Hockey Canada, because Gretzky didn't play that much for Hockey Canada because they weren't allowed in the Olympics when he played. He only played in one Olympics, and it was like his last year of hockey. Obviously, they had Canada Cups back then and everything. Like, again, he won 26 straight games as a Canadian captain. That's absolutely insane. So again, Bennington had a great 2 periods, some shaky goals in the third. But again, 6-on-5, can't really do too much. Came out the win, that's all that matters. USA Sweden is just about to start right now. USA doesn't have Matthew Tkachuk because he didn't play the last half of that third period against Canada. And him and McAvoy aren't going to be playing. Jake Sanderson and Chris Kreider will draw back in the lineup, and Hellebuck won't be playing. I was talking to my dad, and I was like, honestly, I mean, they'll never do this because it's their first game in Boston, and it's still the Four Nations. realistically, you should just be like, we forfeit this game. This game means absolutely nothing. They already clinched. Sweden can't do anything. USA can't do anything. I'm like, this is going to be kind of I don't want to say a boring game because they're still going to try and fix some kinks, but this game means literally nothing right now.
Yeah, it's part of my lock of the week, so I hope it means something to the.
Oh, it's part of mine too. Shu, just because it's relevant, do you kind of want to talk about our locks of the week?
Yeah, I mean, my lock of the week's simple. I took Austin Matthews to score a goal and USA to win. Like,
yeah, I mean, yeah,
you know, I was really close to doing it the opposite of taking Willie to score and taking Sweden as the underdog, considering that Hellebuck's out. But like, I don't know, it's first game in the U.S. The U.S. is clearly fired up about this. You have every single sports commentator, even some of the NBA guys commenting on hockey. That's how much like this is going around the world right now. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, my lock is literally just, I'm pretty sure it's just Matthews to score and USA to win. And it's plus 230.
I am ice cold right now. I got hammered. I did not get any bets on the Canada game. I've been ice cold since the Super Bowl. I've been absolutely getting destroyed.
Dude, the Super Bowl fucked me with Saquon not scoring a touchdown.
Oh my God. Well, did you see, I should send you that clip, but maybe I can play it during this podcast here. But it was, they asked a Vegas like president or whatever, like of the sports book guy who basically runs everything. And he just kind of went blunt and said, yeah, the Saquon anytime, we made a lot of money on that, but he's like, we got fucking killed though. A lot of this stuff, he's like that, those last 7 minutes of that Super Bowl fucked us. Fuck everything about it.
One guy.
It fucked a lot of people.
Yeah, I saw one guy, he took over 2.5 people to throw a pass in the Super Bowl, and Kenny Pickett came in with 2 minutes left and threw a touchdown, and he put like $50 down to win $1,400. I saw another guy bet on Xavier Worthy over 100 plus receiving yards, got it in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the Super Bowl, the parade. I know we briefly talked about it in the beginning and we're focused on hockey here, but the parade was hilarious. You have Howie Roseman, who got a beer can. He's the general manager of the goddamn, got a beer can thrown in his head, cut his head. You have Cooper DeJean, who had a Bud Light chain on that swung up and hit him over the eye, got a giant gash in his eye. You have Saquon walking by, seeing the Philadelphia Eagles ball boy standing behind the gate. And he's like, what are you doing? And you can see in their interaction, he's like, oh, I'm not allowed. And Saquon's like, no, and picks him up, pulls him over. He's like, come and celebrate. That's sick. Like, it was awesome. Like, to be honest, we ragged on Jalen Hurts and we ragged on Philly. I am so happy for Philly. Like,
I love that entire O-line. They all seem like beauties. Mulata, Jurgens, Dickerson. Right? Dickerson was letting it fly at the parade.
Dude, and he played out of his mind. There's one play where he blocks a guy, then spins around, and they brought a twist technique on the end. And the guy who's twisting around to go through the B gap, he blocks that guy. The guy gets shot off to the left tackle, and then comes up and blows up the other guy. And Jalen Hurts throws the bomb to fucking Devontae Smith. Like.
Yeah. You see that Lane Johnson speech that they released, his pregame speech to the boys or whatever? That whole, what do you see, just back to football talk like we are, do you see Jurgens might sign like the most expensive like center deal of all time?
Dude, he's been amazing.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think if I'm not wrong, he played for Tampa when Brady played for Tampa. I'm pretty positive on that. And I always thought he was really good.
Was it Jenkins?
Yeah, you're right.
They look very similar. Redhead bullet guy.
They do look very similar. I think you're right.
Yeah.
But he has been out of his mind. And like, he reminds me of like when the Bills had Mitch Morse. You need a center in today's NFL that can dissect defenses and control the line of scrimmage, because the quarterbacks have so much in their head that they have to deal with. And in certain plays too, you can even hear Jalen Hurts go like, Cam, where are we going? And immediately points it out, and Jalen Hurts snaps the ball. Like, to have that kind of, especially when you go from Jason Kelce, who is going to be probably a first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the best centers to ever play the game, to go from him to having Cam Jurgens like anchor your line. And obviously you have Lane Johnson, you have Jordan Mailata, you know, Landon Dickerson. You have probably, first of all, the heaviest offensive line in the NFL, plus just the overall greatest offensive line in the NFL. It's funny
people
because
are saying, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I would say people are saying like on paper, I know this is a long stretch, but it's on paper of how dominant they are at each position. You can argue this is one of the best built teams of all time. Just because their old linemen are all top of the league, center, best running back. I know I dog on Jalen Hurts, but he had a hell of a game, MVP. You have a wide receiver 1, you have an insane wide receiver 2. Dallas Goedert's a great tight end, and your defense is out of this world. So, I mean, on paper, this is arguably one of the best teams we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, it's insane.
But
my brother keeps teasing me that Myles Garrett's getting to fucking going to Philly.
I would stop watching football if that happened. I wouldn't blame them if they can do it. I mean, but we kind of jumped around there for a bit. I will talk about my lock of the week. It also is the USA-Sweden game. It's a bit of a high odds, but I do like it. It's just both teams to score at least 2 goals, which I think is very likely. I think USA will definitely do that. And Sweden, I mean, they've scored 4 goals every single game, so I think they'll do that. And Onger is thrown in there. He's a great goalie, but he hasn't played in a few weeks, right? So I'll do like that. And I have Kyle Connor and Adrian Kempe anytime, who Kyle Connor is a very underrated player, and Kempe's looked phenomenal during this tournament, in my opinion. So that's my lock. It's plus 1,600, but I need a win. I need a win back.
I was a toss-up between Connor and Austin Matthews. I just think Poppy's going to get one.
It's Poppy. Yeah, we're both 1-4 of the lock of the week.
It's better than 0-5.
Yeah, sure it is. We won
week 2.
We won week 2, yeah, and then we've just been getting slaughtered. Like, not even close. Like, not even, we're like, that's just
not gonna lie, not having Saquon Barkley on the football field is tough.
Yeah, it is. So excited for Canada USA final on Thursday. I think both anthems are going to get booed, honestly, but we'll see.
There were so many Canadian fans in Boston today.
Yeah. There was a slight booze coming from the crowd towards Canada. There's some definitely American fans, but we'll see how it goes. That wasn't allowed the Canadian booze towards USA, but we don't talk about politics here on Buzz Mafia.
No,
you know what I mean?
But, I mean, you're also in Quebec, so.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Did you see what Joey Cole put up on Twitter?
No, I didn't. What did he put up?
He put up something. I don't know if it was him or his burner, because there's the Joey Cole Cuts burner account, which is not him, but it's so funny. Wildest takes. But Joey Cole, I do not agree with anything, but it's from Quebec. They're basically separatists anyway, and there might not be a part of Canada. It's like, damn, Joey.
I will say one of the greatest YouTube videos I've ever seen of Chickless and Bob Does Sports. That was incredible.
I saved it for tonight. I haven't watched it.
Oh, you didn't watch it? Okay, I won't say it. It really.
I saved it for tonight.
It's like almost 2 hours long. It's like an hour 45.
Also, Bob Does Sports, if you want to come up to Canada and play some golf against some good boys.
Yeah, let me tell you. I gotta get back on that. I'm excited for golf. My game is atrocious right now, but we'll get dialed in. So going over to golf, we obviously with the 4 nations. I watched the final round of the Genesis just because nothing was going on yesterday, but I didn't watch too much of the golf. Ludwig Ahlberg wins his second PGA tournament. His last hole, par 5, need a birdie to win it. Gets a birdie. I pull out my second win of the season. I'm 2-1 against Jackson. It was actually pretty tight. Scottie, again, won me this one. I'm going to pull up the thing here. So Scottie finished 9 under, tied for third. He was 2 under, 5 under, 4 over round 3. Then he finished 6 under on the last day. His front 9, he shot like 5 under, and then he had 2 bogeys on the back, but then wheeled it back around. I picked Hovland, who got cut. It was 1 over and 4 over. Then Morikawa, very respectable, 3 under and tied for 17th. Jackson picked up Rory, who, good opening day and opening second day, but then 2 over, even on the final day, finished tied for 17th. Same as Morikawa. Homa, my guy, is struggling, got cut after a 4 over and 3 over round.
I felt so good.
Then, he'll find it. And then Zalatoris, solid opening, tied for 24th, 2 under. So, but I do pull out the win. So 2-1.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
So next, we had a good string of kind of elevated events, but now we're kind of just going to the Mexico Open, which it isn't a star-studded field by any means, but we are still very competitive, and we will be still looking at the list here. I'm picking first, correct?
Yeah.
It's not a good list, but no matter what, we still ride. Okay, my first pick. Some names here. I'm gonna go Akshay Bhatia. Good pick. I love Akshay. Lefty.
I like him too. All right. I'll go with, I don't want to go with him right away.
Who are you going? It's basically just like looking and just make sure a name comes up.
Pretty well, yeah. Give me, there's no real Canadians.
No, there's not.
All right, give me Aaron Rye.
I wanted a two-glove man.
Yeah, like.
That was a good pick. I'm going to go with your guy a few weeks ago. I'm going to go with Kurt Kitayama.
All right, give me Emiliano Grillo.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't know. Don't worry.
I know
He's a
him.
dog. He's a dog.
I know exactly who that is. And then my last pick, I'm going to go CT Pan. You don't think I know that shit? You don't think I know who Pan is? Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
All right. I guess give me Eric Van Rooyen, little South African boy.
All right.
I really hope I got that right. I'm pretty sure he's South African.
Yeah, so I mean, will I be watching the Mexico Open? Probably not. But I'll look at the leaderboard. I like to know who's in the lead here. Again,
you'll look at the leaderboard, and if you're in the lead, you'll text me. If you're losing, I'll be radio silence.
I don't say a single thing. All right, let's wrap up with the penalty box and a bet in the farm. We kind of mentioned it earlier. In my penalty box, I just have the NBA as a whole, or basically the All-Star game. It's an embarrassment. I've seen so many clips of it's like, in one end, you have two countries literally killing each other, 3 fights in 9 seconds. Then you zoom over to the NBA and you have LiAngelo Ball rapping at center court. Who, no shade to him, and people are loving his song, but it's a joke. And again, you have guys punching each other in the head and just absolutely running each other over, and LeBron can't play because he has a sore ankle. Like, they have to find meaningless in these games. It's a non-contact sport. In basketball, we're not big basketball fans here. We got to make something meaningful. The most meaningful NBA All-Star game I've ever seen was the one after Kobe Bryant passed away, because they wanted something to commemorate him, basically, and it was pretty cool. But since then, it's just been it's just been horrendous to watch. I don't watch it. I've only seen highlights.
The one in 2016 in Toronto, that was decent. The dunk contest against Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon. That one was gross. That one was dunk contest. That's what people watch it for, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, you have Mac McClung, who amazing, like, obviously an amazing kid, amazing basketball player, but he doesn't play in the NBA. Like, these kids get called up because they can do these crazy dunks and shit, but he doesn't play.
Yeah, it's not entertaining, and you do like make some meaning behind it. They're like, a few years ago, like the draft will do. Each team gets $1 million. Jimmy Butler just signed $120 million for 2 years. He's making $60 million in a year. And it's not like each player gets $1 million. It's millions split up between 20 of you. So I don't know what that is, like 75 grand. They make that in half a game. Not even. Like, do what they do. Because international basketball is huge. Do a Europe versus USA. I think that would get some good numbers. And I think they'd actually try.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Honestly, I think USA would, or I think Europe would win that, or international.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to, doing international versus USA would be great, right? Like,
it's just, yeah, that's my penalty box.
I agree.
It's horrendous.
I could not give less of a fuck about basketball.
I know. I was so invested in the Four Nations. I don't really have much else for penalty box. I just thought first thing came to mind, and it's something that truly pisses me off because it's just such an embarrassment. Because I used to love basketball. And now I just don't care anymore, but I will still rant about it. But who do you got in your penalty box?
My penalty box is not necessarily actually a person.
Here we go. Just like last week.
No, Mother Nature, dude. Puxatawny Phil giving me 6 more weeks of winter. First of all, you start the year off insane with some of the craziest wildfires that we've ever seen. Obviously not complete Mother Nature there.
Yeah.
And then you just dump, first of all, people don't know how to drive in the goddamn snow. You should have to take a test in the wintertime before you get your driver's license in Canada.
I completely agree.
To drive. Like, it's ridiculous. And then these people don't know where to park, so they get boxed in by the plows. Like, it's ridiculous. And then, you go anywhere, people can't drive. But, dude, there's fucking 6 feet of snow at the goddamn, like, at my cottage. That's insane.
That's insane. Yeah.
I cannot remember, for real, a year in like the last 10 years that there has been this much snow. I haven't had to get on the roof at my cottage to shovel snow off in 6.5 years. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's
also,
nuts.
on top of that, I had to get on my little bunkie and wipe off the satellite dish. And then I was like, oh, I'm up here. I might as well shovel the snow off. Fucking fell off the fuck. Like, it's a good thing there was 6 feet because I fell off because it was so much goddamn snow. And then my dad had to roll me out of the snow because I was stuck. And then my brother buys this new ice fishing hut, which amazing buy. Awesome little ice fishing hut. Fits 4 people, insulated, awesome. Thing weighs 130 pounds. Do we have a snowmobile anymore? No. So who is, after shoveling 70 million pounds of snow all day, who's lugging it out to the goddamn ice fishing spot that's 2 kilometers down the lake? This guy.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
I literally got back from lugging the thing back in after we were done fishing. And immediately I looked at Mom and Taylor like, oh, you're being dramatic. I was like, you go outside. Carry that thing. I felt like I was having a heart attack.
All right. So penalty box, NBA, All-Star game, and Mother Nature. 2 of you can fuck off. Figure it out.
God,
Yeah,
I love
let's
it.
wrap it with the Bet the Farm. We are 0-4, which I mean makes sense.
I bought mine up. Where I'm betting not betting the farm. I'm betting like the sheep barn this time.
All right. I have a 19-leg parlay. It's only college basketball. By the way, last week I was 15 out of 18, which sucks because the cash out would have been insane. But this always happens. I've actually win a good amount of them, but I lose the first one, so the next 16 don't fucking matter. But I'm gonna kick us off here. I got Grambling State. They never let me down yet against Prairie View A&M. Didn't know that was a school. McNeese State versus Southeastern Louisiana. Bucknell over Lehigh. Bethune-Cookman over Jackson State. Alabama State over Mississippi Valley State. That's a rivalry. Florida A&M versus Alcorn State. Alabama A&M, holy fuck, all these A&Ms, versus Arkansas Pine Bluff. Stephen F. Austin, yes, that's a school, against East Texas A&M. Norfolk State versus Delaware. Nicholls State over New Orleans. North Carolina Central over Morgan State. Howard, already Peo against Maryland Eastern Shore. Don't know how that's possible. South Carolina State over Coppin State. They're just making shit up now. Northwestern State over Lamar. Jesus. UT Rio Grande Valley over Carte Ward.
Jesus, dude.
Duke over Virginia. Utah over Kansas State. Southern. Yes, the school is just called Southern over Texas Southern. Big Southern battle there. And Baylor over Arizona. Plus 40,000 to me, 80 smackaroos.
That's only plus 40,000.
They're all the favorites. I bet they're all the favorites are like minus 3,000.
I only have an 11 pick parlay and mine's plus 117,000.
Okay, we're starting to get to that realm. We're starting to get there.
Yeah. So I got college basketball and then I threw in the NBA games that start on Wednesday or Thursday.
Yep.
So I got Baylor over Arizona, Arkansas Pine Bluff over Alabama A&M.
It's a big game.
Alcorn over Florida A&M. Bethune-Cookman over Jackson State. I got the Lakers over the Hornets. I got the Celtics over the 76ers. I got the Grizzlies over the Pacers, the Bulls over the Knicks, the Cavs over the Nets, the Hawks over the Magic, and the Bucks over the Clippers. And that is plus 117,000. $1 pays out 1,100.
There we go. That's betting the farm. That's the first time probably you've bet the farm more than me, I would say. Well, you always bet more money than me, but my odds are usually higher. But no, you're getting up there now.
I've stopped with betting. I just looked. The last bet I won was Connor McDavid goal against the USA. After that,
I bet that too. We
don't want to talk about it.
Then I got too cocky and I was like, okay, Crosby anytime and Marner anytime. Nope, didn't happen. So yeah, I've been getting absolutely cooked. I can't wait for our first bet the farm to actually hit. It's over under. Over under. It gets to like 30 because we're 0-4. Over under gets to like 30.
Easy. I'm going 50. Easy.
Okay. All right.
Easily.
So episode 50 is going to go crazy.
Mine was insane earlier, and then I realized you can't put all this stuff together. I had the TGL mixed with some ping pong, mixed with like some cricket, mixed with Barcelona.
Yep.
And then I get to the bottom of it. It's like a 20 pick parlay. It's like you can't bet all these together. I was like, all right, I'm not going through the 5 anymore. Just give me basketball.
All right. Well, that's, I guess, all. Unless you have anything else to say, just go Canada. Big game on Thursday. I'm so nervous. I get like nauseous for this. I get so anxious. I'm sweating. My knees were shaking. Like, again, like even though on paper we should kill Finland, just we saw what they did in the rest of the tournament besides the USA game. So I'm so pumped for Thursday. If it's going to even be more of a bloodbath. And yeah, I mean, if they play like they did the first two periods, I'm confident. I mean, I think it's safe to say Bennington will start again. You can't just play him for 3 games and just have someone new in there, but you never know. But yeah, go Canada, go.
Go Canada, brother.
And yeah, so follow Buds and Pucks on basically all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and as well follow Buds Mafia on YouTube and Spotify. We're almost at 100 listens on Spotify, so that's big news there. But yeah, this has been episode 6 on Buds Mafia, and we'll see you next week, hopefully after a big Canada win. I'll talk to you later, Jackson.
Sweet, cheers.
Fakes left, now taken off. Gonna run for it again.